Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, there is some Star Wars news, I guess. I mean, not news, like, it's not like they've announced anything, but John Boyega is back in the news, I guess, the Star Wars news. Because once upon a time, he seemed to be the voice of reason amongst Star Wars actors. He seemed to criticize um, Lucasfilm and Disney and everything, and we respected that. We liked that about him. Um, but now he's turned around and he seems to have turned on us. And now he's blaming us. He's saying that it's our fault that his character got the short end of the stick. Um, because he started off being a really interesting character and people thought he was going to be a Jedi and all these things that were going to happen. And then they just turned him into some sort of sidekick with a crush on Rey. And he didn't really get to be the character that we thought he was going to be. And I think he was supposed to be. That was being planned by JJ. But he sort of came out and was critical of Disney and Lucasfilm about this, but now he's turning around saying it's because the fans are racist and the fans, couldn't accept a black person being anything other than the sort of token or the friend or something. And I don't think that's fair. Now, the immediate response from everyone, like people like Star Wars Theory and that, is that he's totally wrong. We're never racist, and he's just turning into a shill. I think what happened was he blamed Disney, and then Disney turned around and said, well, yeah, we did that, but we only did that because the fans demanded it. The fans told us they didn't want a black man doing this or being the main guy or being a Jedi or whatever. And we just had to do it because of all the pushback and everything. So I think they managed to deflect the blame from them to us, and now he's blaming us. And it's like, well, yes, some Star Wars fans are racist, absolutely, but a lot aren't. And a lot of people thought your character was going to do more and be more, and they were disappointed when that happened, just like you were, and they were definitely on your side. But I'm just sort of seeing how some people are responding to this, and it's like, I can see how he is feeling like this, because a lot of the fans did reject him on some level, and the studios would have been afraid of that sort of pullback or whatever, blowback, whatever. I've lost the term. So their response was to, minimize his character, whatever, rewrite it. So I can sort of see how, they could have had some integrity and said, no, this is how we design this character, this is what we want this character to be, and then do that, and to hell with the racist fans not watching the show and boycotting the show and all that sort of carry on. But they didn't do that. They sort of cowered in fear of people not buying tickets and said, well, let's just minimize this character because apparently people aren't comfortable with a black man being the lead or a main character or important. And people throw up Samuel L. Jackson's character and Lando and who's the other black character in the show? 'Cause there's not many. And he's like saying, well, that's just like tokenism. That's just, you're like picking out like the chocolate chips in the muffin or something. And it's like, yeah, they kind of are. They're saying, well, we had a couple of black people, so no, we're not racist. Like, we had a couple in their place, and, we were comfortable with that, and we don't want any more than that. And I'm like, well, that's kind of the point he's making, sort of. Although I don't think any of those characters are really minor, but there were only a couple of them. So they didn't have a lot of minor characters that were of people of colour. They had a couple of people of colour that had prominent roles, but there still were only a couple of them. So I'm getting his point, but I'm thinking he's been a little bit gaslit by Disney, and they've sort of blamed the fans, and because they're probably offering him a bunch of money. Because I think what's happened is they've come to him to appear in something, and he said, and then they said, why? And they said, well, you blew it. And they said, well, actually, that was the fans that did that. That was all the fans' fault. We were just responding to all the, I still can't find the word. Pushback? I think pushback was what I meant, the pushback. And I think they managed to gaslight him that that's what the case was, and that's what it was. Now he's like, well, now Disney, they've explained all this, and now they're offering me money for something new. They're not going to do that, or something. He seems to have sort of flipped on us, and people aren't happy, because we generally did feel bad for him, and we're actually defending him because he's character, and he deserved better. And now it's like, well, maybe you got what you deserve, bitch, because So yeah, so I don't know, but I don't know what to think of it. But I just found it kind of funny, and I have a confession to make. It's really sad, but I've watched a few Star Wars Furious videos, and I think I'm less offended by his like misogynistic MAGA gaslighting and ranting and stuff, because I find him kind of attractive. Isn't that really sad? Like, he can say the same stuff as like God, who's a really ugly YouTuber? There's a bunch of them in the Fandom Menace. But you know, like I hear them, I'm like, ugh, what a racist, what a bigot, what a misogynist. But someone I find attractive talks, I'm like, well, maybe he's got a point. Isn't that sad? Oh my God, I'm so ashamed. But I realised. But yeah, I don't know. I found I've been watching a few random sort of Fandom Menace sort of people, because partly I want to just keep up with what their side is saying and stuff, and sometimes because I just sort of liked their point of view on a few things and their knowledge, because there's not a lot of nerds on the left who actually have any idea and have watched Star Trek or Star Wars and even know any of the history, so it's kind of hard to listen to them. Whereas the other guys, it's a pity, the ones who know everything are the ones who usually have the most issues and are the most prejudiced and bigoted and so forth. But they're also the ones who know the most and have the most insight into the actual characters and that. So when they're not talking politics, I actually enjoy their content. So it's very difficult. Like, yeah, when you're dealing with someone like Ryan or whatever, and those really creepy ones, everything they say, you know, I can call them on it, but get someone else and it's sort of like, no, I'm weak. I'm superficial. I'm looking at them and not hearing the words sometimes. It's really sad. I don't know why I'm confessing this. I might clip this off the video. But yeah, I think I'm just going to trim that. But if not, who watches to the end of my videos anyway? If you're still here, thank you. But yeah, I feel like I can just rant on about anything now. No one's going to call me on it. So yeah, I think Star Wars Fury is hot. I don't know why. I have a weird type. I can put up pictures and you go, oh, okay, I see it. But other people, like, is it Ryan Kennelly, whatever, one of the other guys from the Phantom Menace. Now I look at them, I just think, ugh, they're vile. I hate everything they say. And then there'll be maybe one like, what was that blonde guy from Geeks and Gamers? I found him oddly attractive. I don't know why. And I found myself less bothered by him saying the exact same things other people said. I'm like, oh, that's really bad. I'm so ashamed. But I'm also a gay man, so I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Mr. Boyega and shallow homosexuals.